Hi, myself Arindam Goswami. I am senior integration consultant working in Mulesoft products since 5 to 6 years. Today I'm going to show how to add the JWT policy in the API specification. Also I will add some other policies here. So let's see what the JWT policy authentication is. So for doing the JWT authentication we are having the two part. First part is getting the token and second part is getting doing the actual API call. Okay, so if you see here, so that's why we need a provider here who will give you the token. Here I am using the auth 0 provider. There are other provider as well which are Okta. Also Mulesoft is having its own provider. Anyway, this time I am using the auth 0 provider. So if you see here, first part is getting the token and the second part is getting the hitting the URL, means consume the API by passing the token to get the actual data. So as you can see, first of all user ask for the token from the auth 0 provider, getting the token. After that doing API call, actual API call to the resource server. For here it's my Mule API manager, and then resource server is sending the actual response to the client. In case of the token is not valid, it is sending an invalid response. So that's it. If you see, let me go to the AnyPoint platform. So if you see, I have added a JWT validation in my existing project. Okay, so if I can quickly show you the RAML which I created. So let me go back to the design center. What I added, just this is my order API security. I just give you a quick glance of what RAMLs that I have created. So just wait for 1 minute. Yeah, so this is my RAML. I already created that RAML structure. So, and all the security feature is present in this auth folder. I have created a trait folder, and the type contain the type containing its type related stuff. Trait is containing some reusable component, and authorization auth is containing some authorization stuff. So I have added some other authentication as well, that is basic auth 2. So don't need to consider this one, just consider on the JWT token here. So JWT token I have added here, the security scheme as JWT token. If you see, I have added this JWT token in the secured by which I am saying to all the API that it should adhere to the JWT token policy. Okay, now that's it. I will share the RAML, so no need to discuss much about this RAML. It's a simple RAML file. If you see the code, you probably will understood how it is behaving. Now I am simply going to the API manager. Okay, I have implemented that project in my local, and if you see here, this is my project I have created by implementing that project from the exchange. So this is my simple project, not this one, sorry. Yeah, this one. This is my project, and if you see here, pom.xml, this is the most important part. We have added this component and added this component to connect with the exchange, and this is the organization ID. That one you can get from here, from the URL. Okay, so this is the organization ID we have created. Now go to my project and go to the policies and go to the JWT validation here. Yeah, so if you go there, I just added whatever there default I just added it. I didn't have changed anything. I have used the signing key 256 RSA algorithm, everything is same. The most important thing here is the JWT's URL, this one. So why I added this particular URL? Where from I'm getting that URL? Again, go back to the diagram. I mentioned there is something called the auth provider. Provider is needed for JWT authentication apart from your resource manager. So now you see I have logged into the auth 0. So this is my provider one. I have created one of the account here by using this option machine to machine. Now if you see here settings, go to the settings, you can see this is containing the client ID, client secret, and machine to machine and other information as well. You can do some other configuration here as well. Okay, now go to the quick start. Okay, so if you go back to the project, you see there is two part here, auth 0, that is getting the token and doing the actual API call. So first part is getting the token. So if you see to the quick start section, it is already saying obtaining an access token by calling to the token endpoint. Okay, here you can see this is the data. They're already saying please send the data in that particular format. It's a curl command they have given, and I'll give you the token. So client ID, client secret, and grant type. Where from I'm getting the grant type, client secret credential. That one also you can see here. The settings, if you go to the settings, advanced settings, you can see the grant type here. Okay, now first of all I just quickly conclude here where from I'm getting this JWT's URL. So JWT's URL I'm getting this from here. Go to the endpoint, you can see there is a URL, JSON web key set URL. Just copy that URL, and if you see here, see it is matching. So this is the URL I have added. Okay, now nothing has to do in the API manager side, everything is all set. I just added the policy here, and I also added just two more policies, rate limiting and IP allow list. I'll mention when I'll just run it. But these are just very simple policies. Okay, now let me get the token first. Go back to the concentrate on the diagram. You see, get me the token first. Auth 0 provider, this one. So how can I get it? Go to the swap UI, and I just paste. You see, go to the quick start here. What I was saying here. I'm not doing anything. I just copy this, the client ID, client secret, grant type, everything. From here I'm just pasting it here in my swap UI, and this is the token URL. So token URL also they are saying giving it from here. So that's what I have taken. I'm just hitting that URL. If you see, I'm hitting the URL. You see in the raw I'm getting a 200 response, and what they are sending to me, if you see, they are giving me access token. So I'm just copying that access token, and I'm just placing it here. Let me copy it. I think it is not been copied properly. View or wrap. Yeah. No, there must be some wrong. This is not the valid token. Give me a second. Hi, welcome back. So if you see here, this is my JSON body. and I'm making a post request, and that I have got already shown you how I'm getting. I'm just hitting that one. Okay, this is my access token. I just copied that access token here in my bracket. Here I pasted it. If you see here, I just copy the access token. Now I copied it already. Now what I am doing, I am having a JSON call. So this is my actual endpoint URL. So here from I have got that URL. If you see, when I have deployed that particular project in runtime manager, so these are the steps. Already you know how to deploy a project and all in the runtime manager. These are the steps. If you don't know, then just go to my earlier videos, you can get it. Okay, if you see here, if I just click here, you see there is an application URL. So that URL basically I have copied. If you go to the API manager, here, just clicking here, you see if you see edit here, in the implementation URL I just added it. That's it, nothing else. Okay, now this is my actual endpoint. If you go back to the diagram, I'm calling to the actual endpoint. So this is my actual endpoint. Basically I'm doing this particular call, getting the listing of hotels. If you see if you go to my raml here, design center, so this is my call. And the most important thing here, what are the parameters I'm passing for doing the basic authentication or JWT authentication. You have to pass this authorization parameter, and you have to give the token inside this here. So I, as already shown you, that I just we got the token from here. So now here I am just copied the one. I just copying it here. It is simple. And now what I am doing, I am just pasting this token here. BARER, BARER, then this one. That's it. Hitting the tab. Authorization part is okay. Transaction ID, transaction secret, it doesn't matter. X forwarded for, that I'll come later. Okay, just click on send. Now what is happening, the resource manager, if you go back to the diagram, this time the resource manager, this means my endpoint, is calling to the auth provider but through this JKWS URL, which I already mentioned. This URL I already mentioned. So let me go back to that API. Sorry, settings. Just quickly go to the API endpoint. Yeah. So through this particular JSON key set URL, my auth resource manager is talking to auth provider and verifying the token. If the token is fine, then it is sending me the response. So this is my response. If I just change anything to the token, let's say if I just add something, if you see what the error it is giving, it is saying invalid token because I have forced the token. Okay, two more things just before concluding this video. If you see here, I just added a X forwarded for. What is that? If you go back to that design center here, API security, go back to API manager, just a minute. I already added two more policies here. So the second policy is that IP whitelisting. So what I am saying, I will allow only one IP in my request. So if you see the X forwarded for, that one I have copied from header. So this one I am passing it in header, and here I am taking this particular sending it in the header, and here attribute and header explorer for getting that header value, and just I am giving this particular value, and this value same I have added here also. Okay, so that means I am allowing that particular IP. One more thing I have added, that is the rate limiting. If you see configuration, I am saying per minute only maximum 5 requests are allowed, not more than that. Sorry, it's an hour. So only one request are allowed. Sorry, it's number of request 5, and time period 1 an hour. So that means I am saying per hour only 5 requests are allowed. If you hit 5 more than 5 requests, then it won't allow it. Okay, if I keep on hitting the request, so this is the second time. Sorry, let me copy again the bearer token, bear bearer, then just copying it from here. Hitting that one. This is the response. So second time, third, fourth. Yeah, you see quota has been exceeded. That means I have hit my request more than 5 times. Right now if you want to hit it, it won't allow it, because already you have added this SLA policies here. You can it only allow after 1 hour. Here you can configure it to minute and second up to your need. I hope you understand. So in today's video we just covered 3 policies, mainly JWT validation, then this is automated policies, and API level policies. 2 policies we covered, IP allow list and readability. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe my channel if you like my videos. Thank you. Bye.